Hey guys, welcome back. So in today's video, I am going to be doing my makeup with you and I'm going to be talking through everything. I do have two new products that I'm going to be trying out. The first one is the Tarte Face Tape foundation. This is going to be like a first impression though because it's brand new. I have not used it. I haven't even opened it. I have it in the color 22N Light Neutral, and then I also have the Naked Reloaded by Urban Decay. This one is not a first impression because I already did the eye swatches. The other new product that I bought is this one, the Tarte Face Tape concealer, and this one I've had before, but it's been almost a year, and I got it this time in the color light neutral. Before I had it in light sand. They both have the same name and I'm wondering if they're gonna be exactly the same, but I have no idea yet. Alright, so starting off with my face spray, this one is the Rose Glow Mist by Pixi. Next I'm gonna use these two products. These are by Pixi. I used them the other day, and this one is the serum, so I'm gonna apply this one first. This one's really cooling. It's a gel and then it just melts right into your fingertips, and this one feels fresh. At the beginning it feels like you'd have a lot, but then it just dries down really nicely. And then this one is the face balm, and it's also by Pixi, and this one's also another one that I just started using, so I have no idea, but what I do know is that it's really thick and it does moisturize my skin really good, but that's about it. I don't know anything else yet. And then to prime my face, I'm going to use the Too Faced Hangover RX, which is also very hydrating, but this one is a primer, so this one's not just like a regular moisturizer. And since it's one that I know that I like and works with my skin, I want to try it with the foundation today. So now for the face tape application. This one is full coverage, flawless natural matte finish, and infinite likes. What the heck does that mean? The last one that they had, which was the Shape Tape matte foundation, is this one right here, which I have used this one before. This one I also have it in color light neutral, so I'm guessing it's going to be the exact same shade. But they did switch it up. They changed the packaging and they relaunched it and everything, so now it looks way different. This one looks like the concealer applicator for the concealer, pretty much just in a foundation form, and then this one has a pump on there. So this is the way that it looks, the Double Duty Beauty. And yeah, like I said, this one says that it is a full coverage, so I'm excited to see how that works out. Natural, flawless natural matte finish, and like I said, it says infinite likes, which I think that's like social media-ish or something. I don't know what they're trying to say with that. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and pump this out. Like I said, I think it's gonna be a good shade for me. Today I'm gonna be using it with my brush, and this one is the Morphe JH03 foundation brush, and I'm gonna go ahead and just apply it everywhere. Alright, so the color seems good. I think so. I think it can work. Lately I've been getting them a little too warm and too orangey and stuff, so I think this is pretty good. It seems like it is very full coverage. Like I got a lot of products, so I think I'm just gonna leave this for now. Look at how much coverage it's giving me though. Big time. I feel like I applied a lot. It looks so light though. I feel like it's like super full coverage. Because you could see the redness that I had and now it's like gone. Okay, maybe it's not too light because it is matching my neck a little bit. I'm just gonna apply it everywhere, even on my eyelid and under eye. I know the concealer is a very full coverage concealer, so I don't need to try that one out, but this one for sure. So light, kind of like a face paint. That's how much coverage it's giving me. I can make it work by, you know, all the other products that I'm gonna apply later with the blush and the bronzer and things like that, but maybe it just looks like this to me right now because it is so full coverage. Like it's making my face look completely one color. Yeah, it looks like I'm wearing foundation, like I can really see it, but it doesn't look bad. It looks good. It's not catching on to my dry areas or anything like that because the formula is pretty moisturizing. Like it's pretty liquidy. It's easy to blend out. I didn't have any issues with it. There are no streaks on my face from the brush either. I think it does a really good job blending out with the brush. And it's completely full coverage for sure. What else can I say? You can tell that I'm wearing a foundation. Doesn't have that natural glow to it, and it looks like makeup for sure, but not in a way that you wouldn't expect, because that's exactly what this describes. Full coverage and natural matte. I don't know about the natural matte part, maybe just because it's not completely flat matte, so I can see that because it does have a little bit of a sheen to it, but for sure it is a very full coverage concealer. I have no idea if it is infinite likes though. so that's questionable. By the way, I used 2 pumps from whatever came out, because you know sometimes the pumps don't want to come out when you're using it for the first time, and I still have a lot of foundation left. So like I said, this one is a different shade. I used to have light sand, but I felt like that one was a little too light for me before, so this is hopefully going to be a little bit better. And I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this. Well, it's not the same color as the foundation. Let me swatch it next to the foundation so you can see it. They kind of look the same on the screen, but they're not. This one is a little bit lighter, unless this one oxidized. Maybe they are the same. They kind of look the same now. And on my under eyes, it looks a little bit lighter than the rest of my face, but let me blend it out and see what happens. It does look maybe a little bit highlighting, or no, maybe it does look exactly the same, because now that I blended it out, it kind of looks the same color as the rest of my face. So I'm going to go ahead and set my under eyes and my face. I'm going to use the Laura Mercier powder, and I'm going to use this powder for both my under eyes. So let me know what you think about the finish of this. How does it look to you? Are you going to be getting it? Are you interested in this? And I'm going to take a bigger puffy brush, powder brush, and I don't want to apply too much because I feel like I'm going to look like I have a lot of product. But I do want to make sure that everything is set. Now it looks really, really matte. Like that glow, that little bit of glow, I guess the natural finish that it had is gone because I did set it. So now it looks really matte. Where I'm seeing it look a little bit more cakiness, I guess you could call it, because it looks a little bit drier on me. Now keep in mind I do have dry skin, so it just depends on your skin. But right now to me it's more around my mouth, so I can see it looking a little bit cakey. Just a little bit too heavy around my mouth area and right here on top of my nose, and I'm also seeing it just a tiny bit in between my brows. For sure, like I said before, it looks like I'm wearing makeup and it feels like I'm wearing foundation. So it's not one of those foundations that feel really light on your skin. It's kind of like, it's not super heavy, but you can feel it on your skin for sure. And just for reference, I'm gonna go ahead and apply a little bit of this one right here so I can see the difference. This one feels a lot thinner because it's not as full coverage. It looks a tiny bit lighter. It's a little bit lighter than that, unless these two oxidize, because now they look exactly the same. But I guess I'll wait for it to dry because it looks like these oxidized just a tiny bit. So moving on to the rest of my face, give myself some color. I'm gonna use this powder right here. This is by e.l.f. It is a powder and I'm gonna use it to contour, which is what I use it for. And I'm just gonna take my brush and I'm just gonna apply it on my cheeks. Like I said, this is a powder. It's not a contour product. And then for bronzer, I'm gonna use the one in this MAC palette. This one is the light medium version. No, this one's called the Fair palette. And I'm gonna take a little bit of this. This is a creamy bronzer. I feel like I need a little bit more bronzer because it didn't really show up too much. So I am gonna use the one from this palette, which is the, which one's this one now? Medium deep deep palette, and this one is the purple or pink magenta palette. And then for blush today, I'm going to use the Tarte palette right here, which I have not used, and I'm going to use one of these blushes. I don't know which one yet. I think I'm going to use this one right here. And since I have no idea how I want to do my eyes yet, I mean, I'm going to use the Naked Reloaded, but I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet. There we go. I just had to blend it out with this puffy brush. I'm done with my eyebrows. I went ahead and I did those, and I have been looking at the foundation because now it did change. This did oxidize, and I'm actually gonna pump a tiny bit of the foundation next to the other bit of foundation that I still have, because I knew something was different because it is lighter. You see? So it does change color on me, and I even think the same as the I think the same for the concealer. Let me swatch that one. I think they're all pretty much the same, to where they just change color a tiny bit. So I do feel like they do oxidize and they all do the same thing. And I wanted to quickly show you this one next to it. This is the original Urban Decay Naked palette. I still have the brush in there with the wrapper. Okay, so they're not the same at all. They are completely different palettes. So yeah, just wanted to show them to you so you can see the difference between them, because yeah, this one's called Naked Reloaded, but for sure it's nothing like the original one. Yeah, there's some shades that may be similar, like light browns, because that's pretty normal in a neutral tone palette, but they're completely different palettes. So I'm gonna start off with, I'm gonna do a complete neutral look. I was gonna use that pink one, but I'm not, just because I don't want to. Simple. I don't want to. So I'm gonna use this color right here, which is the color Bucked. I'm gonna take my Morphe M514. These do have a lot of kick up whenever you're dipping your brush, whenever you're sticking your brush in there. I'm trying not to cover up my microphone. And I did notice that the shimmers, whenever I was doing the eye swatches, don't look a lot better when they're wet. Like they just kind of look either the same or a little more sheared out without it being, you know how sometimes shimmers, most of the time they look a lot glowier. The ones in this palette, not all of them, but most of the ones in this palette don't look better when they're wet. They just kind of look almost the same, and most of them gave me a lot of fallout. So if you want to see that video, it's linked on the cards, in the little I button. You can find the individual shades. Now one thing that is a little bit like that I don't like, and it's not that it's not so bad, so it's nothing like major, but some of these shades are matte, but they have a little bit of shimmer in them, but they don't perform like a shimmer shade. Like they don't look as glowy as these. They're just kind of like a, I guess you could call it like a sheen type of shade. This one right here has that, this one right here has that, and you would think it's a matte because it does look like it, but it does have a little bit of shimmer in there. And then this one over here, which is the first one. Another thing is these two pans on the edges are way bigger than the other ones, but they're almost the same color on my eyes. Like they're slightly different, but nothing that would make a big difference. They're not the same. They're different, but they're almost the same. Like it wouldn't even make a difference on my eyes, to where I'm like, oh yeah, that one's Bribe and that one's Blur. Like they seriously look very, very similar on my eyes. It wouldn't make a difference in an eye look to me, not on my skin tone. And so now I have two big pans of almost the exact same shade, except for this one has a little bit of that sheen to it, and this one, well actually that one does too, so never mind. They're pretty much the same thing. So next I'm gonna use the dark brown one. This one is a mix of a matte and a shimmer because it looks completely matte on my eyes, and the way that I apply it is, or the way that I applied it in the eye swatches, it's really intense by the way, is I blended it out and packed it on because it's not shimmery enough to use it like wet and dry. It's more of a matte shadow, but it does have a little bit of glitter in it. It's not glitter, but something like glitter. It's like little shimmer in it, if that is even a thing. This one's really intense, but I did have a little bit of trouble blending this one out whenever I applied it on my eye swatches, and I did set it. I set it and then I blended it out, and then I did the other side packed on. And of course packed on, it's really, really intense. You can see it a lot, but whenever I try to do the blending outside, I did have a little bit of trouble blending it out. I can see a little bit of the patchiness right there. I'm not able to do anything about it though. If I apply more color, it's just gonna make it darker, and I'm not too worried about it because I'm gonna clean it up with like my cut crease concealer thing, but just so you know, in case you don't do that. And for that part, I'm gonna use the Makeup Revolution Cut Crease Canvas. Now for the center of my eyelid, I'm gonna use this one right here, which is kind of like a brown gray silver shade. This one's called Dreamweaver. And this one is very, very loose. Like it has that loose texture to it, the shimmer to it. It's not the best shimmer shade at all. Like if I wet this, it'll shear it out, so I don't want to do that. And since my base is pretty sticky, I'm gonna go ahead and just apply it like that. Now I do want to use it because I like the color of it. I do want to use it because I feel like it's pretty unique in the palette, and just to show it to you, I think it's pretty. It is very, very dark, but like I said, it's super loose. So I am gonna get for sure a lot of fallout. I remember getting a lot of fallout. I just feel like it's a little bit different. It's not just brown, you know, it's a little bit more like, maybe not gunmetal, but just a little silver gray type of shade. It looked different yesterday, a little bit purpley. Today it's not looking that color at all. Maybe it's not that pretty. Look, for sure you will get a ton of fallout with that shade, although I did feel like it was like pretty unique and it's kind of pretty. I don't like how much fallout it gives. These right here almost look similar. I'm gonna try this one right here, which is called Burn, And I'm just gonna apply that one on the outer parts. I don't know how it's gonna look because it's now red, and because this is like a red tone, so red and this gray tone. But I honestly don't want to use just the regular dark brown that's there. So mixing these two colors, I'm hoping that it looks pretty cool, or that it looks a little pretty, a little unique. Look at how much fallout I got. And I'm gonna apply a little bit of the silver in the center one more time to blend out those two shades. Okay, so now they're just mixing together. Ooh, that was a lot of fallout. Look at how much I get though. It's like a lot. It's like excessive. They're not really like blending into each other. You know how sometimes you get that really nice transition with shimmer shades? These are blending into each other, I guess because they're too loose. So yeah, I've completely mixed the shades together, and look at this. It's too much fallout, like way too much. Like, I know that there are palettes with fallout. I don't mind it. It's something that can happen, you know, especially with very shimmery shades. Like, it does happen with shimmer shades. It happens with mattes. But I feel like this is a lot. And I know I could tell with some of them. I don't remember each one, but most of them in my eye swatches did have a lot of fallout. But now that I have makeup underneath it, it's like way more obvious. So I'm just gonna go back into that same color that I used in the transition area, that light brown one. This one right there. And I'm gonna apply this on my lower lash line. Like I said, I don't have an issue with the colors that were chosen for the palette, because I understand that every brand, or a lot of brands, want to have a neutral palette in their line. And I knew what I was buying because, of course, it's called Naked Reloaded. Like, I saw all the pictures, like I said earlier. And I'm kind of surprised because you would think it's new, so they would use like a really good formula. But the Naked Heat palette and the Naked Cherry palette, those have such good quality eyeshadows. The shimmers are so good. The mattes are so easy to blend out. They're so smooth. And I even like the little mini on the run palettes. Like, even that quality is good. Not the shimmers, like, they're not amazing. The mattes are, but these in here don't compare. Like, okay, so I put on my falsies, and for sure this look looks so much better because the falsies kind of make it look like it looks better. My under eye is still full of shimmer, but I'm gonna go ahead and just finish off the look. I'm gonna use the MAC Oh Darling highlighter. Okay, so now I just want to talk about the two main new products that I tried today. First off, being the foundation. I do feel like it is exactly what it says it is, except for the infinite likes part. I do feel like it is a completely full coverage, and then it does say flawless natural matte finish, which now that I've said it, it doesn't look like the natural part, which to me the natural kind of seems like kind of glowy just a tiny bit. To me it just looks completely matte, especially now that I've said it, like I said. So I can feel it on my face. I don't feel like it is completely lightweight or anything. It doesn't claim to be, at least not from what I've read here. I don't see anything that says that it's supposed to be lightweight unless it does on the website. If it does, well, it doesn't. It doesn't feel lightweight. But it doesn't say that, like I said, so I'm not holding that against it. I'm just letting you know that you can feel it. Like, I do feel like I'm wearing makeup. It doesn't look nowhere close to where, oh, you're just flawless, you know. No, you can tell that you're wearing makeup. It does look that way. So that's pretty much it about it. I do feel like it was very easy to blend out. I do want to try it with the Beauty Blender and see how I like it that way. I do feel like it's pretty thick. You only need a tiny bit because I did kind of take out a lot and I didn't need it all. Also, the color, it wasn't bad. I feel like it matches me pretty good, but I did see that it did change color a tiny bit once it dried on my hand. So basically that's just the first impression. As far as the eyeshadows, you guys, although the look looks pretty now that I did my mascara and my falsies, I don't like the quality of the eyeshadows. I don't feel like it's anything like their past two palettes. Whenever they first talked about doing the Naked Reloaded, I honestly thought it was going to come in a packaging like this. This is plastic, and I just thought that that's what was going to happen. Like, they were going to bring it back, they were going to bring something similar back and, you know, do it like this. But no, it's completely different. This feels kind of like those cushions that you get in a bed set that you can't remove from the little pillow, like the decorative pillow. So remember I said that whenever you feel this or you see it at the store, that's exactly what it feels like and looks like. Like, it just feels that way. Has a little bit of cushion up here. So yeah, nothing like this. And I am just gonna say the formula is different. There's something so different about these. It's not that they don't show up, because like I said, the mattes did show up and they do blend out. This one is the hardest one to blend out, and keep in mind these do have dark shades in here and they don't perform like this one does. The shimmers in here are for sure not the same to the ones in these two palettes. And then I also got these two out because, you know, this is the first one and I did show it to you earlier that they don't compare. The shimmers are way different, but even the mattes in here are way better and easier to blend out than the ones in these, and this is like years old. And then I did get this one out because I know that it seems like it has some of the same shades and the color combination, because it kind of does look like they are, especially just looking at them side by side, but the formula completely opposite. This is way better, even though these are like the creamy matte formula. I remember whenever I used these, I was like, man, these are kind of like not only intense, but they're kind of like creamy powder, like a little bit of a weird formula, but they actually work and they look nice, and the shimmers are so good. This in comparison is not. I think what makes them look very similar is that they're neutral palettes, you know, with the pink in there. But the shimmers, way different, you guys. The ones in here are very nice. They look very glowy. They really show up. And the ones over here are very messy with a lot of fallout. And yeah, like I said, if you want to check out the eye swatches, you can check it out in the little eye button. But of course, in that video, they're just individual. They're not mixing them with other eyeshadow. So I guess I'll continue to play with this, see what I think about it. But as far as today, I'm not impressed. I don't feel like there's anything amazing about it. The shimmers are just like half quality, and the mattes are nothing like amazing either. It's just kind of weird because it looks pretty now that I'm done, so it can be a little bit confusing to explain like why, like what the issues were, and you saw the tutorial, so it's like you saw what it took to get here, because it didn't look like this before I applied my mascara and my falsies. I felt like it looked a little bit like not so great, but now that I'm done, it does look really nice. So it's kind of like, what do you think about it? Like what would you say? Would you say that it's fine because at the end it looks pretty? Or do you think it was just a little too messy, a little too hard to achieve a pretty look? Let me know what you think about that, because I know it can be a little bit confusing. That's why I'm not giving you like my 100% opinion on it. It's not a review. It's just a first impression on using it on one eye look, because it looked like, you know, it wasn't going good and everything was kind of messy and muddy, but now that I'm done, it does look pretty good. So does it matter to you that the formula is not that great? I don't know. Let me know what you think. It's a little bit confusing because, like I said, now that I look at the eye look, it does look very pretty. So confusing. But anyways, guys, that is pretty much it for today's video. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching another one, and I will see you in tomorrow's. Bye.